All right, so get ready, because today we are diving into all the buzz surrounding the upcoming A24 film, Death of a Unicorn.
Yes, we'll be going way deeper than just like the typical release dates and trailers,
Yeah, you guys have sent in some amazing articles and background info about this movie.
And we're going to sift through it all and pick out the most interesting pieces.
Exactly.
All this stuff that'll make you the expert at your next movie night.
Right. Okay, so first things first, A24, this studio, they're known for both like horror and comedy.
Yeah.
They've put out straight up scary movies like Hereditary and The Witch.
Yeah.
But then they also do these completely wild comedies like
Right.
Zola.
Oh, and Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Exactly.
The Disaster Artist. So where do you think this new movie, Death of a Unicorn, might land on that spectrum?
I think we can definitely expect that A24 blend,
Yeah.
That kind of unsettling moments mixed with dark humor.
Yeah.
It's like they want to make you laugh at the same time that you're like squirming in your seat.
Like, remember Zola?
Uh-huh.
That film used humor to like highlight how absurd the whole situation was.
Yeah.
I think we could see something similar with Death of a Unicorn.
Yeah.
Using comedy to like amplify the horror of running into a mythical creature.
Right. It's not every day that you hit a unicorn with your car.
No, it's not.
Speaking of which, the exact release date is still kind of a secret.
Yeah.
But Variety reported that they're aiming for spring 2024.
It is spring 2024, yeah.
Do you think that keeping the date a secret is like intentional?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Classic A24. They're masters at building anticipation.
Yeah.
And keeping everyone guessing.
For sure. And speaking of masters, let's talk about the people making this film.
Okay.
Alex Sharfman is the director.
Yeah, I like him.
He's known for his really distinct indie style.
Uh-huh.
And then we've got Larry Fong as the cinematographer.
Wow.
I mean, he worked on movies like Damsel.
The Tomorrow War.
I think his work on Damsel makes me think we'll see some really stunning visuals,
Yeah.
like almost dreamlike, you know.
He is known for these captivating visuals.
Yeah.
Even surreal sometimes.
Right.
And given, this movie's about a unicorn.
Right.
I wouldn't be surprised if he really leans into the fantastic.
Yeah.
Using the cinematography to blur the lines between what's real and what's mythology.
All right, now for the part everyone wants to know about the cast.
Okay.
So we've got Jenna Ortega,
Yeah.
who's basically a horror icon at this point.
Right.
And Paul Rudd.
Oh, the comedy legend.
I know, what a pairing.
I know.
And they're playing Elliot and Ridley,
Okay.
the father and daughter at the center of this whole unicorn situation.
Uh-huh.
And the intrigue doesn't stop there.
Wow.
The supporting cast,
Oh, yeah.
Richard E. Grant,
Oh, nice.
Taya Leone, and Will Poulter.
Wow. A24 is keeping most of the character details a secret, though.
Oh, really?
Yeah, which of course has led to a ton of fan theories online.
Oh, I bet. Speaking of online buzz, do you remember the SAG-AFTRA strike back in 2023? This movie actually got permission to keep filming
Oh, yeah?
during the strike,
It did.
which is really interesting.
Yeah, it shows a key difference between A24 and like the big studios. Their independence let them support the actors
Yeah.
in a way that directly challenged the studios.
Uh-huh.
They kind of called the studios bluff,
Right.
showing that it's possible to make movies under fairer conditions.
Yeah, it was a bold move for sure. Okay, so let's get into the unicorn in the room, so to speak.
Okay.
We know from the trailer and what we've read
Yeah.
that the movie is about a father-daughter road trip
Right.
that goes terribly wrong
Uh-huh.
when they hit a unicorn.
Yeah.
What do you think it is about unicorns that makes them work so well for this kind of dark comedy?
Well, I mean, unicorns, they're traditionally symbols of like purity,
Yeah.
innocence, healing.
Uh-huh.
But there's always this other side to them.
Yeah.
Like a darker side that we don't usually see in movies. I think A24 is tapping into that, using the unicorn as a symbol for something a lot more complex
Yeah.
and maybe even relatable.
Relatable. How so?
Well, in a lot of myths, unicorns are really fierce. They protect their own. They're not just docile creatures.
Okay.
So what happens when someone hurts them,
Right.
threatens their young?
Yeah.
There's potential for rage,
Yeah.
grief, a side of these creatures we just don't see.
Right.
And in this movie, it seems like the unicorn they hit was a baby.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That definitely adds another layer to it.
Yeah. We're not just dealing with a mythical creature dying.
Right?
This is like a parent's worst nightmare,
Yeah.
but on a supernatural scale.
And then there's that classic A24 touch. You know, they mix lighthearted stuff with moments of pure horror.
Right.
I read that they used the Beach Boys' Good Vibrations
During
some of the most intense scenes.
Oh, that's so A24.
It is, right?
It's that jarring contrast
Yeah.
that makes their films so effective.
Right?
They make you question if you should be laughing or screaming,
Yeah.
and often it's both.
Right. I have a feeling this movie is going to stay with people
Oh, for sure.
long after they see it.
A24 films, they get under your skin. You know they stay with you.
Yeah.
They make you think and rethink what you saw.
All right, so we've talked about A24 style, the cast,
Yeah.
this really interesting premise.
Huh.
Where do we go from here?
Well, now that we have the basics, let's look at some more details from what you sent in.
Okay.
I think you'll be interested in what we learned about Elliot's boss's family,
Okay.
the Leopolds.
All right.
Their connection to the unicorn is a lot darker than we thought.
Oh, that sounds like a great place to pick up in part 2.
Yeah,
We'll unpack all of that
we will.
and explore just how deep this rabbit hole goes.
Exactly.
You guys won't want to miss it.
Welcome back. Before the break, we were just about to dig into the Leopolds
Right, the Leopolds.
and their whole connection to this unicorn.
Yeah. Okay, so remind me,
Yeah.
who exactly are the Leopolds again?
Okay, so Elliot,
Uh-huh.
Paul Rudd's character,
Yeah.
he works for them.
Okay.
They're like his super rich bosses.
Gotcha.
And from what we've gathered from everything you sent in,
Yeah.
it seems like they're incredibly wealthy and influential
Uh-huh.
with a reputation for, well, getting what they want.
Okay, so how do they get involved in this whole unicorn thing?
Well, it looks like they have this strong interest in the unicorn, specifically its healing powers.
Oh, right. Unicorns, healing powers.
One article even suggested that they were already tracking the unicorn.
Really?
Yeah, even before the accident.
Wow.
Like they were planning to capture it.
That's messed up. So they were going to use this magical creature
Yeah,
for their own personal gain.
it seems that way,
Wow.
which, adds a whole other layer of conflict to the story.
Right, because it's not just about the accident anymore. It's about the Leopolds and what they're up to.
Right, their intentions.
Yeah, so they basically become like the villains then.
Not necessarily. Remember, A24 rarely does simple good versus evil.
That's true?
The Leopolds might actually think they're doing good.
Okay.
Like maybe they want to harness the unicorn's power to cure diseases or even achieve immortality.
Okay, but that still seems morally iffy.
Yeah.
I mean, who are they to decide who gets healed?
Exactly. It brings up all sorts of questions.
Yeah.
About, power and the consequences of messing with forces we don't understand.
For sure. Okay, but how do they even know about the unicorn's healing powers?
Yeah.
Is that like in the trailer or something?
No, it's not explicitly stated.
Okay.
It's more like hints.
Okay.
Throughout the source material, there's this suggestion of a long-standing fascination with unicorns within the Leopold family.
Okay.
They mention ancient texts and artifacts,
Oh.
suggesting they've been researching these creatures for generations.
So they're like a secret society.
Kind of, yeah.
That's both creepy and intriguing.
It is, right. It's such an A24 thing to do,
Yeah.
to take something familiar and make it unsettling.
Right, like in The Witch.
Yeah.
They took a historical setting
Huh.
and added all the supernatural horror.
Exactly. They make the ordinary seem extraordinary.
Yeah, and in this case, they're taking something innocent, like a unicorn,
Right.
and showing us this darker, more complex side.
It's the whole myth.
Yeah. Okay, so what can we expect from the Leopolds in the movie? Are they gonna try to capture the unicorn?
Maybe.
Or are they gonna be after Elliot and Ridley?
That's the big question, isn't it?
Yeah.
The source material doesn't really give us a clear answer,
Okay.
but it does hint at some sort of confrontation
Oh, interesting.
between the Leopolds and our main characters.
I can picture it now.
Yeah.
Like some big standoff in a fancy Leopold mansion with Elliot and Ridley trying to protect the unicorn.
Right, and don't forget about the unicorn pack.
Oh, right.
They're out for revenge.
Yeah,
The Leopolds might get caught in the middle of that.
true.
Or maybe they'll try to use it to their advantage.
It's like this whole tangled web of conflicts.
It is.
It's cool how A24 mixes these different elements.
Yeah.
The father-daughter story, the supernatural unicorn stuff,
Uh-huh.
and now this whole commentary on wealth and power.
Right, it's that layering
Yeah.
that makes their films so interesting.
Uh-huh.
You're entertained, but also left thinking about bigger questions.
Right.
Morality, responsibility, the consequences of our choices.
So the Leopolds are more than just villains. They represent something bigger.
Exactly.
About human nature.
Yeah.
And our desire for power.
I think that's one of the things that makes this movie so compelling.
Yeah.
It's not just about a unicorn.
Right.
It's a story about the choices we make, the consequences, the lines we're willing to cross.
For progress, or maybe just greed.
Right.
Okay, so we've got this road trip.
Yeah.
A dead unicorn. A vengeful unicorn pack.
Right.
And these power-hungry Leopolds. What else could possibly happen?
Well, that brings us to probably the most interesting part.
Okay.
And honestly, the most bizarre.
Okay.
Remember those healing properties we talked about?
Yeah.
There's more to them than just curing diseases.
What do you mean?
It turns out that the unicorn's healing powers can change you.
Change you? How?
Like on a fundamental level.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right, so what is it? This big secret about the unicorn's healing powers.
Okay, well, get ready, because this is where things get really crazy.
Okay.
So there's a source close to the production. And they said that eating the unicorn's flesh doesn't just heal you.
Yeah.
It, like, changes you.
Changes you?
Yeah, like on a fundamental level.
But it gives you superpowers.
Not exactly.
Okay.
I mean, this is A24. It's more about, like, enhancing what humans can already do. But with these unpredictable side effects.
Side effects.
Yeah, think like heightened senses,
Okay.
super strength, maybe even a touch of the unicorn's mystical energy.
So instead of like a typical superhero story,
Right.
it's more like, ooh, dark.
Yeah, and visceral.
Okay, so we've got all these different storylines.
You do.
A father and daughter grieving. A unicorn pack out for revenge.
Yeah.
The Leopolds trying to get more power.
Right.
And now people may be turning into something else.
It's a lot.
How does it all fit together?
I think A24 is using the unicorn to show us the dark side of humanity. Our desire for power.
Yeah.
The fear of the unknown. What we'll do to survive.
Right.
It's all there in our fascination with unicorns.
It's like you said before,
Yeah.
the monsters we're scared of are really just reflections of ourselves.
Exactly. And the more we try to control these forces,
Yeah.
the more dangerous they get.
Which makes me think about the Leopolds and how obsessed they are with the unicorn.
Yeah.
What if they accidentally unleash something terrible?
Oh, that's a scary thought.
Yeah.
And very much an A24 kind of thing to happen.
Right.
Their films often warn us about good intentions gone wrong.
So to recap,
Yeah.
we've got A24's unique style of horror and humor, an amazing cast,
Yes,
a story that keeps you guessing,
definitely.
and these deep themes about grief, revenge, and the consequences of our choices.
It's a lot to unpack.
It is. It's clear why A24 is so good at making movies that get people talking.
Right.
They really tap into our anxieties and fascinations.
They make us face uncomfortable truths
Yeah.
about ourselves and the world.
I am so ready for this movie to come out.
Me too.
This deep dive has been amazing.
It has.
We've gone way beyond the surface.
For sure.
And really explored what this film could be about.
That's what A24 does best.
Yeah.
They make films that make you think. You debate them, you dissect them. They leave you with more questions than answers.
So as we wait for Death of a Unicorn to hit theaters, I think we're left with one final question.
Okay.
What would you do if you had the choice? To take the unicorn's power, knowing the risks,
Yeah.
or walk away and stay human?
That is the question, isn't it?
It is. We want to hear what you guys think.
Yeah, let us know.
Thanks for joining us for this deep dive on Death of a Unicorn.
We'll see you next time.